One day, Bulgy was transporting passengers as usual along Thomas's branch line. He was happy. With Thomas and the other engines being away on Edward's branch line while the line was being upgraded for Geoffrey, he was having the time of his life. But as he approached a level crossing, he was surprised to see that the gates were closed.
Hey, what's going on? There are no engines here.
Just then, George the Steamroller came up behind him.
Oi, I need to get through. I need to get through too, but these gates are shut. How can they be? Those old kettles are away at Wellsworth. Do you think I don't know that?
Retorted Bulgy.
These gates are shut. What's going on?
Suddenly they heard a horn. It was Winston carrying the fat controller. Bulgy and George were bewildered at the sight of him. Winston was inspecting the Farquhar branch line for the fat controller as the upgrades had now just been finished. Bulgy and George continued on with their day in silence, still flabbergasted with the sight they both saw. Later that day, the two road vehicles were talking about nothing but Winston.
He's a vehicle on rails. Not just any vehicle, a road vehicle. A car.
Oh, that's Winston, replied Bertie, who overheard the conversation. He's the railway's track inspection car that came from the mainland years ago. Sometime after your incident with the bridge, Bulgy. And sometime before you caused all that trouble to Thomas and Gordon those years ago, George. Anyway, you'll find he's a nice chap. And Bertie rolled away to collect more passengers along Thomas's branch line. But Bulgy and George were cross.
A vehicle specifically designed for roads is working for the railway? That is traitorous to all road vehicles. A spit of oil to the face. We must get Winston onto our side. Indeed,
agreed George. So, all day long, George and Bulgy went to talk to Winston whenever they saw him.
Hello there, friend. I'm Bulgy, and I want to talk to you about roads and how they are better than railways.
But
The reason why our roads are much better and more reliable than railways are because we have the freedom to do everything. No timetable to keep, and we can go as fast as we can without any speed limits.
What?
But you don't want to work on the railway? They denounce all the good things about roads. Why, this place used to be a road itself. And then the railway took it all over for their own needs, without understanding our needs.
And Bulgy started to weep.
I remember the day very well, when the railway invaded my beautiful tarmac. A lovely work of art ruined. Oh, that day has been engraved into my mind ever since. And when I rebelled against those blasted machines, they just threw me away in a chicken field. So what do you say? Would you join us to free the roads?
What on earth are you talking about? I remember seeing you in that field whenever I went to the Little Weston, and I heard all about your dilemma with the bridge from Duck and Oliver. Seems to me that you still like talking whoppers, despite what you said to that journalist last year, eh?
Me? Talking whoppers? How could you say such a thing?
Bulgy growled. I say, those tears you pulled were rather great. Perhaps you should be an actor instead.
Oh, what cheek! I'll have you know, thank you, Bulgy. I suggest you stop talking a load of cobblers and collect your passengers now. On your way, and no more lies about my railway. Oh, but...
Yes, sir, he sighed, and he rolled away.
Later, it was George's turn.
Oi, you, red thing! Join the Anti-Railway League now!
he said forcefully. No, replied Winston bluntly.
Why not?
Because I was built to inspect track. My wheels aren't like your wheels.
That's rubbish. You're a car designed for and only for roads. That's enough, George. You don't want me to ask your new owner to take away your roller again now, do you?
George gulped, and he went on his way. The two vehicles met up with each other, both feeling rather defeated.
What are we going to do now?
Then Bulgy had an idea.
There's only one thing we can do. Follow me,
he said. Later, Winston was resting in a siding near Maithwaite, while the Fat Controller was discussing things with the station master. He was thinking about Bulgy and George. Oh, those two, they are alike. Simply talking whoppers. I don't see a problem with both rail and road coexisting with each other. They're both equally important.
Right. You know what to do. Right! Heave!
Shouted Bulgy. Winston woke up in horror, and then he felt himself being pulled by George. What are you doing? He cried.
If you're not willing to join, then we'll force you.
George tugged and pulled and pulled and tugged, while poor Winston could only shout for help. Help! Help! The shouting and arguing caught the attention of the Fat Controller.
What's going on?
He cried. Then Winston felt himself being dragged onto the road, and his wheels crunched onto the tarmac. Winston groaned loudly as his steel wheels were making marks along the road.
I did it! I did it!
Cheered George.
You're one of us now. No, he's not,
replied a stern-sounding Fat Controller. Soon Miss Jenny and the bus manager arrived, and even they were absolutely fuming. George, I am not happy at all with this kind of behaviour coming from you. May I remind you that your roller was once taken away because of your incident with the pub on Thomas's branch line, You don't want it to be taken away again now, do you?
No, Miss Jenny, replied George quietly.
And Bulgy, you should be going all anti-rail. The railway is going to be here for a long, long, long time, and you just have to deal with it. I thought better of you after what you did last year, but because of your behaviour today, instead of sending you to the shed, I will take you off passenger duties and have you bring the workmen to this site, and you will remain here so you can think about what you have done.
Yes, sir.
A few days later, Thomas and his friends returned from Wellsworth after a long time away. Everyone came out to see them passing through. They were very happy to see them again. As they neared Maithwaite, Thomas saw George laying tarmac on the spot where Winston was derailed, while Bulgy waited for the workmen to finish. They arrived at the top station with a sight of people cheering and clapping for them as a welcome home celebration. Winston was there too, and Thomas asked him about George and Bulgy. Winston chuckled. "I'll tell you all about it," he replied, smiling.